Hello, this is Paul Chek. Welcome back to my video blogs. Today our topic is, if you don't go within. There's an old yogic saying. I don't know which yogi came up with it, but it's a good one. If you don't go within, you go without. What that means is if you don't spend enough time getting to know yourself and learning to manage your own mind, you go without inner peace, and your life is just a constant struggle racing from this task to that event to this stressor to that stressor to the next phone call to the next internet site, and the next thing you know, you're wound out, stressed out, burnt out, and you're spending any spare money you have on doctors and pills and constantly looking for information to explain why you feel so lousy all the time, and you can't get your mind to hold still. So we always have to maintain a balance between the inner relationship with ourselves and the outer expression of ourselves. So based on that concept of going within, if we look at my 4-doctor model, Dr. Happiness, which is the chief architect of our dreams, what are you willing to live for? What are you willing to change for? What are you ready to become? Or do you have a dream bigger than your nightmare? If you have a big enough dream, you don't need a crisis, as psychologist Jerry Wesh beautifully says. So Dr. Happiness is the overarching, shall we say, guide of our other doctors, because it's what gives us our motive to change. M for movement, Dr. Movement. D for diet, Dr. Diet. And Q for quiet, Dr. Quiet. Going within falls into the category of Dr. Quiet in my 4-doctor system. So what we want to look at is, with regard to Dr. Quiet, sleep is our chief anabolic function, or what I would refer to in a Taoist philosophy as maximum yin, maximum energy accumulation. Nothing's more powerful than sleep for accumulating energy that we can use as anabolic or yin energy to rebuild, repair, and regenerate ourselves. And remember, whenever you have a dream, you're in a constant state of transformation. So if you're overweight and your dream is to be slim and beautiful, then you're going to have to transform yourself to match the dream. And once you're doing the right exercises and managing your other doctors, going within through meditation and going within through adequate use of rest and sleep gives you the anabolic energy so that the inner construction workers can metaphorically build the plan according to your dreamer. So if the plan says, I want to be slim and beautiful, and you don't have enough energy, then your cells don't have enough energy to recreate your body to represent the dream. There's nothing more powerful and cheaper than sleep and rest. It's free. So in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, I give you all sorts of information on everything you need to know about how to sleep, from sleep hygiene to optimal sleep cycles based on how our hormonal system works with nature. I give you zone exercises, which are forms of active meditation, similar to Tai Chi and Qigong or yogic exercises, but specifically oriented around the neurovascular plexus and the hard structures that create the physical component of what is called the chakra system. My multimedia ebook, How to Eat, Move, and Be, the last 4 doctors you'll ever need. I've written too many books. The last 4 doctors you'll ever need, How to Get Healthy Now, has audios, videos, and slideshows, and I show you work-in methods, and there's a companion audio for Dr. Quiet that you can buy that gives 7 meditations that can be used for people with busy minds or people that have a hard time meditating. So that's the Dr. Quiet audio companion. Next, taking naps to help restore balance is very wise, particularly if you're in shift work or you've got a new child or you're in circumstances where it's hard for you to get adequate sleep according to your sleep cycles. Then naps are magic. Remember, the golden rule of a nap is don't take a nap longer than 20 minutes during the day, or you may go into what I refer to as a hibernation cycle, which makes it very hard for you to wake up again after the nap. It's like you're in a state of jet lag or perpetual haze. And the reason that's not a good idea is because people often resort to coffee and sugar to bring them back up again. So that defeats the whole purpose when you do that. So no longer than 20 minutes, set a clock. Now, if you've just come back from another country and you're exhausted, then sleep as much as you need, but you're going to be in a transition state anyhow. As a general rule of thumb, though, naps up to 20 minutes are very powerful. Even a 5 or 10-minute nap can be magic. I've had many situations in my life where I was about to get on stage to give a presentation in 15 or 20 minutes or a half an hour, and sometimes I've had to run to the bathroom to hide from people, to sit on the toilet and just meditate for a few minutes to ground myself. So it's not a question of if we can do it, it's a question of if we're wise enough to do it. Okay? Peace points, which peace points I talked about in the previous blog. A peace point is exactly what I said. If you've got to run into the toilet and close the door and pretend you're having a poop so people will leave you alone so you can get some peace for yourself, that's what it is. If your day is stressful and you don't have time to meditate, or you're too wound up to meditate, or you're tired and need some rest, then take your favorite book or magazine, do anything that you can do that is a gift to yourself, but is somehow disconnected from your work or the primary activity that you need rest from. Just giving yourself a few minutes as a gift to you can be very, very magical. I do it all the time. And we got to remember, we exercise our brains constantly. The brain, when cognitively engaged, research shows that the brain uses 80% of your available blood sugar. So many people who are working their brains all day, largely with unfocused negative thinking, don't realize they're sucking up a huge amount of blood sugar, which makes them exorbitantly hungry. So they eat all sorts of fuel, but they don't do any exercise to burn it off or to condition the body. So because most of these people don't have good instincts, they don't know when to stop eating. So their brain actually makes them hungry, but they don't know how to manage the hunger or manage their brain. They don't know how to calm the brain down. By learning to meditate, use peace points, calm yourself down, your brain won't overconsume energy, largely due to ineffective or unproductive thinking, and you can calm yourself down. Now, this very good new book and/or audio DVD series called Power Up Your Brain, The Neuroscience of Enlightenment by David Perlmutter, MD, who's quite a famous neurologist, and Alberto Villoldo, PhD, who's a famous shaman. And by the way, Alberto Villoldo is a shaman I respect. Many Chek practitioners have gone through his training, and every single one of them has come out of that training a much more evolved, much more balanced, calm, enlightened person. So I don't normally recommend things unless I really think they're of high quality, but here's probably one of your first chances to hear an intelligent neurologist combine wisdom with a very skilled shaman with a background in medical anthropology and related studies, so you can really learn a lot of neat shamanic techniques, meditations, meditation concepts, and also nutritional concepts to help enhance not only your brain, but your overall body-mind well-being. So power up your brain. That's what I say. Aho to these two for putting something really beautiful together. Now, peace points for your mind are the equivalent of a rest period when you're in the gym. Most people in the gym that are training wouldn't want to skip a rest period because they know right away that their next set is going to be some sort of a disaster or an expression of poor exercise. If we apply the same principle, remember that we're exercising our brain when we're cognitively engaged, studying, trying to do things at work, drive cars, manage kids, manage schedules. But a peace point is the equivalent of a rest period for your brain. So make sure that when you're doing something on your peace point, it's something that's joyous and does not require a high amount of mental energy. Or it won't be a peace point, it'll just be a diversion that contributes to stress. Meditation, there's a lot of different types of meditation. Witnessing is very, very good. Most people say, I have a hard time meditating because my mind won't stand still. That's the beginning of the meditative process for everybody. So all you do is do what I call climbing up to the lifeguard tower. Lifeguards don't get actively engaged in any one event on the beach because they've got to watch the whole beach. So when you climb up to the lifeguard tower in my meditation technique, it's as though you're just sitting up there watching all your thoughts, so each of your thoughts becomes like a person on the beach. And you don't engage, you say, oh look, isn't that cute? I'm thinking about all this work I've got to do. Oh, look at me, I'm all nervous about whether I'm beautiful enough or whether mommy or daddy love me or whatever. But you don't get entangled in it. You don't start having a bunch of emotional fluff. You just say, oh look, isn't that interesting how much I spend my time thinking about these disempowering thoughts. And by just simply witnessing, you learn not to get entangled with them, and you learn that you don't have to believe your own thoughts, and you learn to have a sense of peace and even joy because you realize how powerful your mind is, and once you can convert it from stinking thinking into positive thinking and learn to manage it, you got something. Meditation is also a form of defragmenting. Our minds tend to get into obsessing about things. Where's my next coffee going to come from? Who's going to love me? What's for dinner? Will I make enough money? So these things can kind of produce sort of a reverb effect, where if you keep thinking a thought enough, it starts thinking all by itself. I'm sure some of you have experienced that. So meditation practices are like defragmenting a computer. They run much better once they're cleaned up. So does the brain. Meditation is also a great means of enhancing your ability to feel what's happening in you. A brain that's running too fast all the time and is too intellectually oriented and too ego-driven gets so oriented towards meeting perceived expectations of others. Do I look good enough? What should I say? What should I not say? Am I beautiful enough? Have I got the current sneakers on? Am I hip? Am I cool? All of that externalizes you, and the next thing you know, you're drinking piles of coffee, eating a bunch of sports foods that don't do anything except give you constipation, and you've lost touch with your inner sense of feeling. So meditative practices are very good for enhancing inner feeling states, and your feeling component carries even more information than intellectual thought. For example, the feeling of love can carry a massive amount of information in it, but the feeling that, or the thought, I wonder if I'm going to make enough money this month, doesn't carry a whole bunch of information. It's just one point of stress, like an arrow that goes right through you. And reprogramming. When you're up on that lifeguard tower and you come to realize, boy, I sure spent a lot of time worried about how I look, you can now begin to say, what is my dream? Is that thought really dream affirmative? And if it isn't, how could I restate that? In other words, do I look good enough? Could be, my dream is to be a happy, healthy person, and the I don't look good enough thought turns over to I look fantastic, or I'm happy with the way I look, or I look good enough and I'm willing to continue to work at improving my beauty through natural means, but not make it a stressor in my life. That would be reprogramming for positive purposes. The worst thing you can do is to go to battle with any of those thoughts, because it will strengthen the negative neural network in your nervous system that is producing the thought. Okay? So, some of the ways that we can meditate for people that aren't skilled or practiced or have a hard time with meditating is reading. When you're reading something, try to choose books that have enough depth and enough wisdom in them that any one statement or paragraph could be life-changing. If you don't go within, you go without. If you read that in a book, you could sit right there and meditate for a few minutes. What does that really mean, and what does it mean in my life? So if you just send that thought up and then relax and allow yourself to feel instead of trying to think it out, then reading becomes a stimulus for meditation. It often takes me a year to read a good book because I only read books written by really intelligent people, and some of these things have zingers on every paragraph, and I like to ingest and digest these things. So reading can trigger off mini meditations that open your intuition and your inspiration and teach you the value of meditation, because when you find out what you can do in 2 minutes, imagine what you can do in 20 minutes or an hour. Movement. Anytime you want to meditate, choose either exercises that you're so knowledgeable at that you do not have to think, and then just relax while you're exercising and you go into meditative states, or use repetitive exercises that are low stress, such as a rowing machine, a bicycle, walking, a treadmill, swimming, anything cyclical. Once the ego thinks it's got itself mastered, it starts falling asleep. When you're doing repetitive movement, the ego thinks, I don't need to be involved in this, it's too simple. Boom, the door to meditation is wide open. I have some of my best meditations in gyms or out in nature. Listening. A great way to meditate, if you're having a hard time controlling your mind, just simply listen. What is my mind saying? What are my dominant thoughts? What is my body saying? Where's this back pain coming from? Where does my digestive trouble come from? Just listen and actually go into your body with your consciousness and talk to your stomach. Talk to your small intestine, your large intestine, your kidneys, your liver, your brain, your adrenal glands, your pineal gland, your pituitary. Have a relationship. That's all you, right? Most people think those things are like components to a stereo or something, or a cell phone, and they have no relationship with their body, but they forget that your body is your subconscious mind. The wisdom of nature is in your cells, and your DNA, in my opinion, is literally a tuning system, like an antenna that accesses cosmic frequencies. So by getting into your body and really having a relationship with it, you open the gates to the entire universe, because quite frankly, the body is the universe. If you were to break down the components of your body and analyze what stars that came from, you would come to an interesting experience. The conclusion would be is that your body is made of elements that came from every potential place in the universe, or every star in the universe, and could never be tracked to a specific location. Therefore, you are the universe. Witnessing, we talked about the lifeguard stand. Breathing. Those of you that have a hard time meditating, a simple meditation is just to relax, close your eyes, and feel the air tickling the hairs of your nose, which stimulates sympathetic activity, aids digestion, elimination, and growth and repair. And when that air comes into your body, feel what happens in your cells. Feel how it stimulates the body. Bringing air in is a form of chi, a very powerful form of chi, and you bring prana into your body, which is a high vibrational, subtle energy. So if you breathe out and wait till you're hungry for air, and then feel how excited your body gets, let your belly expand. Feel the energy move through your body. Where does it go? What's happening? Get into it. Have a relationship with your body. It's full of magic and mysteries. I love it. Okay? So, here are some meditations for you. These are Paul Chek style meditations. So if you want to know what I meditate on, here you go. Meditation 1. Who am I? Find somewhere quiet and pleasant to sit and ask the question, who am I? If your mind starts to wander, immediately ask the question. And ask the question of whatever you believe to be your soul consciousness, or that which lives inside of you and enlivens you with conscious sentient awareness. Who am I? Keep asking that question till you get the answer. And I can guarantee you, you'll know you have the answer, because you will become an empathetic and compassionate human being. 2, what is breathing me? People forget to ask these kinds of questions. Why is it that I can't hold my breath for very long, yet masters like Paramahansa Yogananda and Zen masters can stop their breath, stop their heart, and literally die, turn themselves back on at will, because they have become one with what is breathing them. So asking the question, who am I, is very similar to asking the question, what's breathing me? This one, you can pay attention to what's happening inside of you while you're doing it, so you get a physical element as well as a psychological element. Number 3, what messages does my soul have for me today? The soul speaks in silence. So when this head is buzzing all day long and you don't know how to calm it down, it means you're probably repeating behaviors and getting into relationships that do not serve your dream and are a form of resistance and stress for you. So when you get still enough to listen to your inner voice, your soul, or your conscience, you can get guidance that's more profound than anything you can ever get out of a book, and it is custom tailored for you because it is you. Finally, show me the love, baby. Many people say to me, Paul, every time I meditate, all that happens is they think about all these nasty thoughts and he doesn't like me, she doesn't like me, and it just goes on, and I just don't like it. So I just try to ignore it. Well, this is your chance to decide what your spiritual philosophy is. For me, the highest form of love is unconditional love. Therefore, everything in the universe must have a function and a purpose as a mode of expression of unconditional love. Therefore, anytime you're under stress or you're having a challenge with your own behaviors, choices, decisions, and actions, trust that whatever created the universe has a beautiful, perfect plan, and by asking that, what I call Great Spirit, to show me the love, it means I'm being brave enough to look behind my own judgment of what's going on and ask Great Spirit to show me the bigger plan. And believe me, if you spend enough time when you're under stress, feeling judged, or in the middle of judging others, and you really honestly ask, show me the love, magical things can occur to you. So that's my little blog for today. I'll be away teaching Holistic Lifestyle Coach Level 3 at a beautiful resort here in San Diego for the entire of the week. So I shot this on the during the previous week just so I could share some love with you. Look forward to seeing you soon. Feel free to go to the Chek Institute website, look into our schedule so you can learn when you can get into my Holistic Lifestyle Coach Level 1 program and come master many of these techniques and much more with me. And you can also go to the website and look at all the different books and audios and programs I have. And believe me, there's a lot of them because I'm very interested in helping you, because I know you are a piece of me, because I've asked these questions and I know the answers, and soon you will too. Have a great time.